All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today is a very spooky sort of Halloween video. I wanted to go maximum effort for Halloween, so this is kind of what I came up with. It's kind of like a modern Grim Reaper kind of thing. I think it came out okay. I mean, the face paint could definitely be a little bit better. I'm kind of just used to doing military face paint. But yeah, considering, I think it came out okay. So I'm going to get a little more comfortable and then we'll check out this cool video. So today we're checking out a video called Top 10 Creepiest Military Stories. Now this is from the We Are the Mighty YouTube channel, which does a lot of like very general military stuff. So from what I've seen so far, I've watched a little bit of it. It seems pretty cool. And also the audio sounds like really solid. Like the person who is narrating this has like a really solid mic. So yeah, it should be cool. Let's check it out.
The military profession is terrifying by nature. Troops fight wars, and that's bound to have created a few vengeful spirits over the last few centuries.
Oh, snap.
That element has given rise to some of the best ghost stories and urban legends out there. Here
That's
are
true.
a few of the most enduring classics from around the world.
All right.
Number 10.
I'm excited.
The Alamo in Texas. The Battle of the Alamo in 1836 was the culmination of the Texan struggle for independence. The site in San Antonio is now essentially a cemetery for the nearly 200 Texan defenders and roughly 600 Mexican soldiers who were
it's pretty
killed in the
brutal.
fight. The remains were dismembered, burned, and dumped in the San Antonio River, and tales of paranormal activity surfaced just a few days later.
Yeah, so if you guys watch any like paranormal sort of like hunting videos or like shows, for me it was Ghost Hunters when I was a kid. You might be familiar with some of these. I'm pretty sure they went to the Alamo. But yeah, kind of thinking about like military and like sort of like spooky haunted stuff. I would imagine they would go like hand in hand. I know Gettysburg is like notorious for being like haunted or whatever. I'm like pretty skeptical about like ghosts and whatnots, but I went to Gettysburg and I gotta say it was pretty cool, but also like it just felt like really spooky. I guess just knowing the background, you kind of feel it. And I also went to the Alamo as well, so you can kind of feel that as well there.
First account of ghosts at the Alamo came when Mexican General Juan Jose Andrade, who made camp several miles away, sent a colonel with a contingent of men to burn the Alamo soldiers' bodies to prevent the spread of disease. The men instead came back, having forsaken the mission because 6 Diablos, or devils, were guarding the front of the old Alamo mission.
It's
And
kind of
over the last
interesting.
80 years, visitors to the site have reported seeing small boys tagging along in groups before disappearing,
Why boys?
hearing the clatter of horse hooves on the pavement, and spotting an eerie man and a small boy jumping from the roof of the Alamo mission.
Didn't really look like much, to be
Number
honest.
9. The Haunted House at KADENA Air Base in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Building 2283 on KADENA is a single-family home for officers that currently sits vacant.
Okay.
Not because there aren't enough 05s at KADENA, but legend has it, because a spectral samurai warrior occasionally rides through its halls.
Very specific.
Other sightings at 2283 have included a woman washing her hair in the sink, a curtain opening in front of a tour group, a phone ringing, despite there not being a phone line connected to the house,
Spooky.
and lights and faucets turning on by themselves.
What's that?
Residents of the house have reported bloodstains on the carpet and curtains, as well as an unearthly chill in the room where a real teenage
man.
girl was stabbed to death by her stepfather.
Oh.
The house itself.
Okay, that's kind of jacked up. I mean, what the heck? How do they know that? And then I guess they're not going to demolish it, but the fact that they're just like putting officers in here and not really telling them that, and all of a sudden they find out later, yeah, it's going to be kind of spooky. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if there's any like military personnel that actually went on any ghost hunts to this specific building. That'd be kind of cool to check out, but I wonder if it's occupied. I guess they're saying it stays vacant, but some people were occupying it. So yeah, I wonder if there's any military channels that did a tour of it.
Rests across the street from an Okinawan samurai warrior's tomb. Coincidence? You be the judge.
Yeah.
Number 8. BITBURG Middle High School in Germany. The BITBURG school was run by the Department of Defense for dependents of American military service members.
Oh, you know it's
BITBURG
terrible
was
then.
constructed in Bitburg Air Base housing in 1956, supposedly on the site of a Nazi air base.
Okay.
It's also consistently rated as one of the most haunted places in Germany,
No
sharing
kidding.
that list with a pagan ritual altar in the Dachau concentration camp.
Ooh.
As if it weren't enough to be full of ghosts, there are also Nazi ghosts, which is way more frightening. Lights constantly flash on and off, furniture
guess.
moves in front of doors so they can't be entered from the outside, and during the night, voices can be heard screaming at the top of their lungs.
I don't like the clips that they're adding. It's actually kind
Apropos
of
of
spooky
nothing,
stuff.
it closed in 2017. Number
Okay.
7. the World War
That's
II
a cool
ghost
one.
blimp in San Francisco. On August 16, 1942, the U.S. naval blimp L-8 took off from Treasure Island in San Francisco.
It's kind of funny seeing like blimps back in the day. I'm pretty sure these were like really popular in like World War II or maybe a little bit earlier for whatever reasons. I know the military still uses like sort of blimp platforms, but not necessarily in the same sort of capability. So seeing like blimps being used back in the day is just sort of like, it's just so weird.
Bay with a crew of 2. Their mission was to conduct an anti-submarine patrol of the coast. The blimp came back, but the crew disappeared.
What?
Their last transmission reported an oil slick in the water. Witnesses at sea testified that they saw the airship circle the oil slick, but they failed to drop depth charges to burn up the oil. The crew of the fishing trawler Daisy Gray reported seeing 2 men in the gondola as L-8 circled the area at 200 to 300 feet, then dipped down to 30 feet, then rose again and headed back to San Francisco. L-8 drifted back to the coast and crashed with the crew's parachutes, life belts, and life raft all intact.
Back?
Other than the damage from the crash, the ship was in perfect order, but the crew were never seen again.
That's weird.
Number 6.
That's pretty
March
weird,
Air
especially
Reserve Base
when it's like really well documented and they have like pictures and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting
in
stuff.
California. What is today a dental practice at March Air Reserve Base once housed a children's tuberculosis clinic.
Oh God.
And in the basement below was a morgue. Some of the staff reported seeing apparitions of small children playing in the building at night or hiding objects. One ghost, however, is less than playful. A teenage girl has reportedly been seen walking around the hospital, her face sliced open, talking to herself, and searching for the person who cut her.
Specific.
In 2016, an officially sanctioned paranormal team explored Marchfield and reported that a shadow figure blocked their exit in one room. Their audio equipment picked up voices the team couldn't hear in person. The team asked where the light was, and a voice on the recorder answered, quote, "It's over here." Finally, when the team asked how many spirits were there in the room with them, a man's voice on the recording answered 6. But
I'd like to hear the actual
recording.
recording.
Corrected him to say 7.
I think actually hearing the audio would make a difference because like you'll see it in these shows where they'll be like, yeah, we think we heard a breath or like a voice. But whenever someone tells you that they think they heard a voice or that they heard a specific thing, then you're kind of going to be like subconsciously looking for like that specific sort of sound. So I don't necessarily know if it's true or not, but it would have been cool to actually hear it in the video.
5. The USS Hornet's 50-member ghost crew. The USS Hornet is an aircraft carrier built during the Second World War. It is also the most haunted ship in the United States Navy. In 27 years, the ship lost 300 of her men to accidents and suicides.
Golly.
Tourists and sailors alike report strange voices and apparitions of sailors in outdated uniforms, roaming the halls of the ship. Radios and other equipment on the vessel are said to turn on and off.
Haunted ships. No thank you.
One coastie reported getting lost in an unknown passageway and encountering the specter of a sailor in his dress white uniform. A retired
Ships already
sailor
are like
who
kind of
served as a
spooky.
dockmaster for the Hornet shared his story of a ghost in Dungarees trying to solve the same task he was solving while on
Big
duty.
wrench.
Non-believers and truth seekers alike can spend the night on the USS Hornet, whose haunted halls are moored in Alameda, California.
I've definitely seen someone do a tour of that one time. But yeah, ships already, they're so like impersonal already. They're very like gray and cold, so they're already kind of spooky. And also the way like the sounds just like travel through the ship, it just, I don't know, everything just seems much more confusing and disorienting if you're not used to it.
Number 4. The ghostly gate guards at Kadena Air Force Base, Japan.
Hey, free gate guards?
The old Gate 3 at Kadena was said to be frequented by a World War II era soldier covered in blood, asking for a light for his cigarette. The stories of his hauntings were so chilling that Marines refused to stand guard at the gate. One MP reportedly shot himself with a negligent discharge when surprised by a visit from the ghost.
What do you mean? How?
Others swear they caught a glimpse of the spirit in the gate's security footage.
You know that gate guard was just like falling asleep or whatnot, and then he just accidentally like pulled the trigger or something. And he's like, yeah, I saw a ghost. I saw that ghost.
In the 1990s,
I don't know about
said
that
the
one.
ghosts of hundreds of Japanese soldiers were attracted to the area. They approached so many times that their activity was recorded in the 2000 book, Ghosts of Okinawa.
Ooh,
The gate has
cool
since
name.
been closed. Number 3. The cursed Russian graveyard in Helmand Province.
I think I've heard about this
stationed
one.
at Observation Point Rock in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, reported a number of frightening incidents not far from a mass grave. One corporal called for backup when he heard a voice speaking to him in Russian during the night. The Marines found graves at the site, a place in Helmand considered cursed by the locals because of the unending amount of human bones that are constantly discovered there. The rock, as it came to be known, was the reported site of Afghan mujahideen executing Russian soldiers during Russia's occupation of the region.
I don't know if that's been confirmed yet,
and the
though.
strange sightings, it soon became known as the haunted OP. But it wasn't just the Marines seeing or hearing things. The UK's Welsh Guards who came to the OP before the Marines reported strange noises and unexplainable lights in their own night vision. Even the locals have forsworn the haunted earth.
Weird lights in
Number
their night vision. No, thank
Fort
you.
Leavenworth, Kansas. Widely considered the most paranormally active site in the United
This one
States
makes sense.
Army, Fort Leavenworth has over 36 haunted buildings. One guardhouse, Tower 8 of the old disciplinary barracks that were torn down in 2004, still stands. It's said that a soldier who committed suicide with his service shotgun inside Tower 8 will sometimes call the guard control room. After a prisoner uprising during
It's
World
probably
War
just some
II,
dude that like got out and he's just disgruntled, or he's been drinking too much and he remembered the number. Like for me, I still have the number for the machine gun pit phone when I was guarding the nuclear weapons. So if I wanted to, I can call it up right now and mess with the guards myself, but I'm not going to do that.
Guards executed 14 prisoners.
That'd be a
one
funny
on
video,
the
though.
hour, every hour, but they ran out of room on the gallows. They were forced to use the elevator shaft in the administration building as an extension. Now, soldiers report hearing screams from the elevator when no one else is around.
Oh, from the
But
elevator.
perhaps the most haunted area is called the Rookery. The building was once the base commander's quarters.
It just
It's
looks
turned into
creepy with the
family
old
housing,
pictures.
and people still live there. The Rookery is said to house a number of ghosts. The lady in white was supposedly tortured and killed by local tribes while the soldiers were off post.
What?
She screams and chases people she sees in the night.
I mean, all these urban
Number
legends,
1,
though,
the
I
ghost
need some
plane
proof,
of
you
Pearl
know?
Harbor, Hawaii. A year and a day after the attack on Pearl Harbor, U.S. radar detected an approaching plane. American pilots intercepted the United States P-40, complete with markings, bullet holes, and sheared landing gear.
What?
Its pilot was slumped over and covered in blood, but smiling and waving.
That's pretty weird.
Suddenly, he disappeared, and the plane plummeted to Earth.
They like,
The wreckage was found, but the pilot's
Oh.
remains were nowhere to be seen.
there's actually
There was a
wreckage.
diary at the crash site, however, which suggests the plane was stationed on the island of Mindanao.
Okay.
Rather than providing answers, the ledger only raised more questions. Where had the
Whoa.
shredded plane been for the past year? How did it take off without landing gear? And what became of the pilot's body?
What the heck? That's pretty
What
cool.
are the creepiest stories you've come across? Or did you experience any hauntings of your own? Leave us a comment and let us know.
Okay.
Oh, and good luck sleeping tonight.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So for me, there's not really... So when I was on the nuclear submarine base, there's like stories all over the place. Wherever you go, there's going to be like stories. I think honestly the spookiest place I've been was Camp Lejeune, the old Had Not Point barracks. If I can get a picture, I'll put it up here. But it's just super old barracks. It just looks like it's something that'd be haunted. But when I was in Kings Bay, the submarine base, we had a story about like a guard that committed suicide. I think his name is Sparks or something. So sometimes people say he would go on the radio and say like Echo 3 Sierra, which is like basically your rank and then also the first initial of your last name. So Lance Corporal Sparks, but he would like come on the radio sometimes at night. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if there was actually a Sparks that ended up killing himself there, but aside from that, there was also like a goblin that was supposed to like haunt the machine gun bunkers that you would like do the guard post on. And I think that was just a lot of really tired people because you end up doing like 8 hours on, 8 hours off. So you kind of just like don't really get to sleep very good. And then you're just standing there for like 8 hours. So you start hallucinating, especially when it's like 3 in the morning when the goblin or whatever was supposed to come out. But as far as actually seeing a ghost, I don't think I've seen anything like that. But if you guys have any cool ghost stories, especially like military related ones, definitely share those down below because that'd be kind of cool to hear about. Again, I'm pretty skeptical because I've not seen anything like that, and I think you can generally explain it with something else. But yeah, if you guys have anything weird or spooky to share, then throw it down below. Because again, it is that time of the year, and I'm gonna have to retire this hat after today, at least for like another 11 months. But yeah, if you guys have anything spooky like that, share it down below. Dressing up in the costumes this month was a lot of fun. It's kind of just my opportunity to be like silly, especially this video. It was kind of like maximum effort, so that was kind of cool. So I'll try and think of some more stuff for maybe like next year as far as like props or videos. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was pretty well put together, and it wasn't like too like cringy or like gimmicky stuff either. I think it was pretty solid. So definitely go and check out the video or check out the channel. I'll put the original video in the description so you guys check it out. But thank you for watching. That is it for this video. I will see you all in the next one.